You can shut yours, Jordan.
I am. Shh. I got a problem, guys.
Shabbat Shalom all, and welcome to Temple Bethel's Facebook Live Shabbat. I'm Cantor Jeff Fine, the senior clergy here at Temple Bethel.
And I'm Jordan Harris, chair of the ritual committee. Welcome to Temple, I'll get it right. Welcome to Teacher Appreciation Shabbat. This evening, we honor our teachers who have worked so hard this year in creating sacred space for learning outside the classroom. And we honor our students and parents who adapted to new schedules, new syllabus, new learning platforms, and new teachers. Our thanks to Director of Education, Leslie Bright, for all her gifts in supervising and creating programming that keeps our Judaism alive even during a world pandemic. We begin with words from Pirkei Avot, teaching of our fathers. Al Shalosha Devarim, on three things is what it means. Those words are on page 338 or on your screen.
Join with us. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, haolam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, haolam omed. Al HaTorah, ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al gemilot hasadim. Al HaTorah, ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al gemilot hasadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, haolam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, haolam omed.
Mark and Susan Post have the honor of lighting our Shabbat candles this evening. Please turn to page 2.
Mark, your reading. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, please turn to page 10 as we welcome the Shabbat with Ma Yafesh Hayom. And join the Kenner with welcoming the Kabbalah Shabbat.
And Shabbat Shalom to both of you, to Mark and Susan. Good to see you.
Shabbos.
Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom. Join with me. Maya Hayom, Shabbat, Shalom, Maya Hayom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom.
We continue the Kabbalah Shabbat on page 14, with Or Zarua.
Or Zarua, la tzadik, O Yisrael lev simcha. Or Zarua, la tzadik, O Yisrael lev simcha. O Zarua la tzadik, O Yisrael lev simcha. O Yisrael lev simcha. O Zarua la tzadik, O Yisrael lev simcha. O Yisrael lev simcha. Ya la 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 O Zarua la tzadik, O Yisrael lev simcha. O Zarua la tzadik, O Yisrael lev simcha. O Zarua la tzadik, O Yisrael lev simcha. O Yisrael lev simcha. O Zarua la tzadik, O Yisrael lev simcha. O Yisrael lev simcha. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la.
Now, please turn to pages 20 and 21 for Lecha Dodi. As always, we will sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. On verse 9, please rise and face your room's entrance and welcome the Shabbat bride.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, hishmi'anu el hami'uchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litehila. Lecha Dodi Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof maaseh b'machshavat hila. Lecha Dodi Dodi, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שדברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please turn to page 24 for Shalom Aleichem.
As we welcome the angels of Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchoni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 26, Hatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ויעמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון ויומכון ובחיידכו בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולם יומיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה
Rechu.
בריחו לעילמים כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן מעמה ואמרו.
Amen. We rise and face east for the Baruch Hu, page 28.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach leolam vaed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach leolam vaed.
Page 30, Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv arobim, b'chachma pateach she'arim, u'bisbina mishaneh itim, u'mahalif es hazmanim, umsader es hakochavim, b'mishberotehem b'orakia kirtzono, b'rei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei chosheh, v'chosheh mipnei or. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaos shemo. El chai v'kayom, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam voed. Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ariv arabim. Now let's join together in the middle of page 32 in the English. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night, we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Please turn to page 34 for the Shema, and that'll be followed by the V'ahavta on page 36.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, vidibartam, vishiftecha, bevetecha, uvelechtecha, vaderech, uveshochbecha, uvekomecha. Ugeshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot bein einecha. Uchdavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Leman tizkero v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item keroshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, Liot Lachem Lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Now let's read the top of page 39 together in the English. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that where we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Now, please turn to page 40 as we celebrate our freedom from slavery with Micha Maha.
Ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 mi chamocha ba elim Adonai mi chamocha ne'edar b'kodesh nora tehilot ozefele nora tehilot ozefele Malekotecha ra'u anecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Ze'eli anu ve'amru Ze'eli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 V'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov ugalo miad Mi chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Please turn to page 42 for Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Vehamidenu shomreinu, L'chaim Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Vehamidenu shomreinu, L'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Vehamidenu shomreinu, L'chaim, L'chaim, L'chaim.
Now let's join the cantor for Vishamru on page 44.
ושמרו ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. לדורותם ברית עולם. לדורותם ברית עולם.
We rise and face east for Tefillah, pages 46 to 52.
Adonai Svatai Tiftach. Adonai Svatai Tiftach. Ofi Agid Tehilatecha. Ofi Agid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Vanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot Umevi Geola Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. Okay, let's read together in the English on the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Let's turn to the top of page 57. And let's go read the Hebrew this time. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, B'amcho Yisrael uffilat b'hava tiskabel u'hi ratzon avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'atacha levadecha b'yira na'avod. Turn to page 58, and let's read together in the middle of the page. Modim anachnu lo. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for your souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put hope in you. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shemcha l'cha na'ed l'chodo. Now let's put the cantor back to work. Turn to page 60 for Shalom Rav, the prayer for peace.
Join with us. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha, Tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom, ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha, Tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
That's beautiful. Please take some time for Tefillah Halev, for silent meditation, to offer your own prayers to God. Afterwards, we'll join together on page 62 for Oseh Shalom.
And as you offer your silent prayers, I ask you to think of Israel and to think of the Israelis and the Palestinians and this escalation of war and our hopes for peace. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, may the one who makes peace in the heavens above make peace for Israel, for all of us, and all the world. And we say, Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu.
And now it's my pleasure to invite a very special person, our Director of Education, Leslie Bright, to talk about our children and their Jewish education. And she has a special presentation also.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I am honored to be here with you tonight at the end of this academic year. We've made it through. We have persevered, improvised, adapted, and overcome. And I'm going to try and share my slides with you. So please, of all of the teachers we have, I am the least technologically able. So here goes. And oh my gosh, where'd it go? All right. So again, Shabbat Shalom. I am incredibly honored to be here with you. And I honestly wonder if it's a coincidence that this year, this Teacher Appreciation Shabbat It falls the same time, the same weekend as the festival of Shavuot. But they're within days of each other. Actually, I don't think in this year of years that it's a coincidence. Shavuot celebrates the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai. It encourages us to embrace Torah's teachings and to be inspired by the wisdom Jewish tradition has to offer. Well, who helps teach the Torah's teachings and the wisdom of Jewish tradition? Our teachers. So I was going to try and offer you all some lofty, wonderful worlds of wisdom and education about the Torah and the Ve'ahavta and great educators, but I realized that Cantor is going to give an inspiring sermon after I present our Teacher Appreciation Awards, so I'm just going to get to it. We all know that it has been, without comparison, the hardest year ever. To all of you who teach, whether you are parents, mentors, classroom teachers, or just friends, to whatever level you teach, I say to you, Toda Rabah, thank you very, very much. Thank you for teaching through the hardest year ever. Thank you for caring so deeply for our students and their families. Thank you for being creative. Thank you for thinking of new ways to engage your students. Thank you for being flexible each and every day. Thank you for learning new technologies. Thank you for doing everything you can to help your students learn. Simply thank you for being teachers. At Temple Bethel, we have several different kinds of teachers, all part of our Kahila Kedoshah, our holy community. We have adult education teachers, we have our Beit Sefer religious school teachers, we have our Hebrew school teachers, we have our madrachim. The slide that I hope you are all seeing talks about us being mishpacha, where we are family, where we share hope and love and kindness, that we move forward with love through whatever life has to offer us. This year, our amazing adult education teachers, through it all, thick and thin, Rabbi Bruce Cadden taught Talmud and Introduction to Judaism. Cantor Jeffrey Fine taught Modern Conversational Hebrew. Jim Friedman taught Hebrew 1 and also a class in service co-leadership. Deb Friedman taught Hebrew 2, Hebrew Practice and Practice. Aaron Peterson taught Advanced Biblical Hebrew Study. Nita King Madeline and Jess McBrayer taught Judaism Gender Study. Julia Walsh taught Pirkei Avot and Jewish Medical Ethics. Carolyn Elsey taught Exploring Proverbs. Beth Broadway taught the Maccabees and other Jewish history mysteries. And Rabbi Sarah Newmark taught Raised from the Dead and other unworldly mysteries. Well, through this all, we also had our religious school teachers. This year, our amazing staff included, well, for kindergarten and first grade, we had Abby Madeline. Second grade, we had Stuart Bright. Third and fourth grade was a blend with Castor Kent. Fifth grade was Gabrielle Plastrick. Sixth and seventh grade was a blend with David Plastrick. Our post-B'nai Mitzvah students were taught by the team of Steph Farber and Greg Kleiner. Hebrew school this year was taught, well, beginning Hebrew, the students had me. Our intermediate and advanced Hebrew students had Aaron Peterson. Our Bar Mitzvah students were trained by Cantor Fine. And our consecration class, by the way, that is Sunday night, the eve of Shavuot, were taught by Rabbi Bruce Cadden. And our Madricha this year, we had help in both religious school and in our second grade class and beginning Hebrew classes. It was Zoe Nemitz, who was an absolute joy to work with. It has been an honor and a privilege to work with each and every one of these teachers. This year, I want to share with you some thoughts and art from our teachers and from their students. First, we have Abby Madeline, sorry. She taught our kindergarten and first graders. And I believe Abby is with us and she has some words she would like to share.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I just wanted to say it's been a challenging year for everyone, but reflecting on this past year, what stands out to me is the joy and connection that my students have brought with them each week. It's been amazing to watch each of them come to class excited to see each other, excited to share about their weeks, and excited to learn. And it's also given us the opportunity to do new things as a class, like making the 10 Plagues video for our Passover Seder. So I just want to say thank you to all my students for making this year more joyful for me and for each other. Thank you all.
Thank you, Abby. Abby doesn't know it, but we have some gifts or some presentations for Abby from her students. So first if I can get this to work.
Don't forget to share your screen.
Oops,
So Leslie, don't forget to share screen.
I don't know what that means. This is a piece of art from Ida Plastric.
Leslie, in Zoom, you need to share screen.
I thought I was. Oh, I can't get out of. Oh shoot! Sorry, I thought I was. Have we missed? Oh my gosh, have we missed all of my amazing slides? I can't tell.
There you go.
I'm sorry. Are they sharing now?
Yes.
Okay, so wait, there was some really cool stuff here, so please bear with me. Okay, we'll do this. Were you all able to see this amazing slide or what Asher said? No, you couldn't hear Asher. Okay, Ratatouille, this is where, yeah, okay. I have to share it. See, this is where I lose it, so one more time. I am so glad you all are my family, so let's go. Can you see it now? Okay, here we go. This is Asher. Okay, this is a beautiful piece of art created for Abby by Ida. Miss Ida has been with Abby for 2 years now, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. Next, our second grade teacher was Stuart Bright, who unfortunately isn't able to be with us tonight. He is actually on a humanitarian mission with all of our armed forces and the government of Laos, but he had some words that he wanted to share. And so Stuart, before he left on April 18th, he wanted all of his kids, all of his students to know how much he enjoyed being with them. And I know that you can read his amazing words, but I want you to know I talked to him personally a lot, and it was wonderful having him as a classroom teacher. Next, I want to talk about our madricha, Zoe Nemitz, who actually helped out in our second grade class. She helped Stuart and she helped me in beginning Hebrew. And Zoe, you should know, this is what you should just listen. Our third and fourth grade class was taught by Castor Kent, who is graduating at UPS this weekend and can't be with her. So one of the things that Castor shared was, and I know you all can read, so I will read it, but one moment from the year that my class and I all enjoyed was making our poem about trees. This was for Tu B'Shvat. It was a great team effort, and we made something beautiful that we could share with others. Something I noticed that my class really likes is stories, both reading them and making them. So a chance to create a poetic story was perfect for our group. And those of you that were with us for Tu B'Shvat, this class made the most beautiful poem. It was amazing, and I commend them all. They were, again, a joy. Here's some videos that were actually made for Castor. We also had this amazing piece of art sent to Castor from Jack. And so he's quite the artist. And as you can see, he put amazing effort into this. It was awesome. Next, I want to introduce our amazing fifth grade teacher, Gabrielle Plastric, who actually made a recording for us. And so here we go. I hope this is working.
Hello, I'm Gabrielle Plastric.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Okay. This piece of art was sent specifically for Gabrielle, and this is from Ryan Rogers. And this is a card that was sent to us, and these, I'll give you a second to read all the little sticky notes, but Gabrielle, this is from your student Mira. Our next amazing religious school teacher was David Plastrick. He taught our combined 6th and 7th grade class. And David actually has some words he wants to share with you. I'm going to call on David. If you could unmute yourself and put your face on the screen, we would love to see you.
Good evening, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I worked with the 6th and 7th grade class this year. Our goal was to think through holidays, practices, values with the perspective of thinking about community. The best moments of the year were always driven by the students, their curiosity, their energy, their creativity. Such a wonderful group to work with. It's been a total pleasure. We had really thoughtful discussions about how values impact our lives, how they impact the communities that we live in. Most of the class members have been working really hard this year preparing for B'nai Mitzvah, and it was so interesting and valuable for me to just hear about their experiences, to hear about their plans and their preparations. It has been a pleasure watching them all so devotedly.
Sorry.
No problem. They brought so much energy and thoughtfulness, despite how busy and interesting and complicated lives have been this year. We took on really challenging questions. How do you maintain gratitude in a year that has been so challenging and so full of hardship? How do you carry forward values like achrayut in digital spaces and new kinds of communities? Throughout the year, we, I think, had a blast. Everyone was so present and so kind and such a pleasure to be with. We really thought a lot about what it looks like to be in a community, and I think we also grew as a community. We spent so much time talking about school and life and family traditions and holiday memories. It meant a lot for me. I hope it meant a lot for the students. I think we found a way to learn and grow together, even in these complicated times.
Thank you so much, David. So David doesn't know it, but we have a video for David. And David, we also have a beautiful piece of art for you. I love that our kids took the time to create these things for their students or for their teachers. Our next class was the post-Bar Mitzvah students. These were our 8th grade students and above, taught again by Steph Farber and Greg Kleiner. And Steph asked me to share some words with you. So try and imagine my voice being Steph's voice. Probably the greatest highlight that our students kept showing up, and that was showing up on the screen, but also showing up with their insights and their thoughtfulness. This year, Greg Kleiner and I ventured into a new territory with our 8th grade students, Ephraim, Bella, and Lula, joined occasionally by board member Maddie Plummer and our omnipresent religious school director, Leslie Bright. We discussed ethics, particularly the ethics involved in situations which had often particularly Jewish solutions. Is it ethical to use data derived by Nazi torturers if that data can save lives today? If an employee finds money while working and the owner cannot be found, may the employee keep it, or should it go to the owner of the business? What are the ethics involved in waiting to see what happens to an early adapter vaccinators before the vaccination or before getting the vaccination as soon as you can? That is, Is it ethical to use others as a guinea pig before taking the vaccine yourself? And is it ethical not to be vaccinated if your choice could endanger others in your household or your community? These are pretty deep things. And our 8th graders and our 9th graders really talked about these. I was there. Greg and staff used listening skills to learn how the students were trying to solve ethical questions. They pushed back on some of their solutions, particularly to help them refine their thinking and partially to show them that often ethical solutions may have unintended consequences. It was fun. It was a good year and everybody learned a lot. Greg and staff, once again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So that was our religious school, our Beit Sefer. Next, we had Hebrew school. And this year, Hebrew school was quite an adventure because we were teaching online. I want you to think about 3rd and 4th grade students who are just mastering learning to read English, learning to read a language that they are not familiar with that has a whole different set of symbols. Our students had me as their beginning teacher, and I actually am going to share, just because these children took the time to make this, I am going to share what my students sent.
Hi, Leslie. Thanks for being a great teacher. I've learned so much.
And then this beautiful piece of art that also came with a lovely gift of a thermos or a thermal coffee drinker, but I love the care and the time that went into this. Thank you so much, both of you. Our intermediate and advanced Hebrew students were taught all online by Aaron Peterson. And I know Aaron has some words he would like to say. So Aaron.
Yeah, well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone, including all the students. And what a growth it's been for a number of these students. I've had you since you were first learning Hebrew. And now you're, oh my gosh, doing a bar bat mitzvah. It's that there's no greater joy as a Hebrew teacher than remembering you. And you probably remember those first classes where I was just teaching you. We were at the front of the classroom walking right to left because we had to learn that you read the wrong way. You know, we'd all learn to read left to right. So it was just that, and then mixing in. So it's been a huge growth, and you all are wonderful. But I do look forward to actually seeing the picture. A number of you did not actually ever turn your camera on, despite me asking. So it would be nice to maybe see you in person one of these times. But we still were able to do Hebrew. Actually, advanced Hebrew, I think, worked quite well in the digital realm. I don't know how you did it, Leslie, teaching the young ones, but thank you. It's been such a growth, and it's been a pleasure. And the last thing I'll say is you can lose a lot over the summer, so keep reading Hebrew.
You sound like a true teacher, a true teacher. These two things were created for you, Aaron. And to your commendation, Aaron, a card was made for you all in Hebrew. And I'm not going to try and read it because there aren't any vowels. So before I go on to talk about something very important, our special award, I want to thank all of our teachers. It has been an amazing year. We had a brand new curriculum that we all taught online. We had to train over the summer. And many of us were not familiar with not only classroom teaching, but teaching virtually. We have an amazing faculty, ladies and gentlemen, and those beloved members of our congregation. I wish if we were in the sanctuary together, I would ask you actually to stand and give them a round of applause for their dedication and their heart and their soul and how far our kids have come. We worked this year as much about content, as much about creating a welcoming, loving community so our kids wanted to come. And I will tell you that each and every week in every class, with the kids that were enrolled, we had full attendance. It says so much for our teachers and for our community, the dedication we have to Jewish education and to each other. And so for that, I thank absolutely everyone in the congregation with all my heart and love. And so the next thing we have to talk about, I only have two more, is every year we have this amazing award, the Hilda M. Slotnick Award for Commitment to Jewish Education. This award started in the year 2001. And this award is given to somebody who we all are outstanding this year. I have to tell you, it was an amazing faculty. But something happened this year that this award has to go to this teacher. This particular person embodies everything that is the finest in Jewish educators. Their deep commitment to Jewish education and their love of children shows in everything they do. They have been here for several years, loving and inspiring the youngest of our school-age children. This person always brings out the best in everybody. She is amazing. And this year, more so than ever before, new curriculum, all virtual, technology was an issue. It was the hardest year ever in so many ways. But I have to tell you, the thing that absolutely clinched this was when our second grade teacher, Stuart, was unexpectedly tasked by the Air Force to go overseas in a matter of weeks. I was speaking to Abby, just asking her if she by any chance knew anybody who could possibly help and step up to teach the class. And Abby put her finger to her chin, and in less than a split second, she said, I can do it. I know these children, I love them. I have a relationship with them, I will do it. What Abby did on Sunday mornings is she taught her kindergartner and first graders from 9 to 9:30. And then she took our second graders from 9:45 until 10:15 every week. So this is the embodiment of what it means to be a Jew, to follow the Via Hafta, to teach our children, to teach them diligently, to teach them well with all your heart and soul. This is Abby. And so I am very, very proud, Abby. It's on the wall already. You are the last recipient on this plaque. And by all means, you are so deserving of the Hilda M. Slotnick Award of Excellence in Jewish Education. And I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but Abby, I'm sending you a plaque for your house or your room or whatever, so you get your own copy of this. As I said, I've been teaching a long time, Abby. You are a blessing and a gift, and I do mean that. So again, if we were here, Mazel Tov, thank you. The way I want to close is, this has been quite a year, and I believe that we have arrived at this season. I think we need to say a Shehechianu. And Kendra, I hope I'm not overstepping. I found this beautiful picture of the blessing, and I have the words, and you don't want to hear me sing. Cantor, would you please lead us in the blessing?
But first, I wanted to bless you all with the Yivarechecha, the threefold benediction. And I'll ask if you would like to show yourselves. It's okay if your hair is not neat, or if you're in jeans and a t-shirt, but it's lovely to see all the teachers so I can bless you in person. There they are. Beautiful. So we bless you with these words. Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yuchoneka. May God's light shine upon you and always be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom. May God's presence always be lifted up to you, and may you always know peace. Amen. Amen. And we sing to you, Simin Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simin Tov, Simin Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simin Tov, Simin Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simin Tov, Yelanu, 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 Olecho Yisrael, Yelanu, Yelanu, Olecho Yisrael. Yelanu, Yelanu, Olecho Yisrael. Yelanu, Yelanu, Olecho Yisrael. Mazel Tov, and we sing Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. We thank you, God, who gives us life, who sustains us to help us reach these special moments of joy and celebration. Mazel Tov, and thank you for all your gifts.
Thank you, Cantor.
And thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last thing I taught my class was that we don't say goodbye. We say lehitrayot, until we meet again. And so even though it is the end of the technical school year, we are going to come together. We are going to be together again. And until then, with all of my heart, I wish you blessings and shalom. And thank you so much. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Oh, that was beautiful. I'm hoping we can put the pictures online, maybe the videos online. We'll see. Finally, we have a sermon tonight that Cantor has promised me. Cantor's doing it. He says it's going to be short.
It will be short. So before that, I just wanted to take a moment of a loving moment to wish my husband, Joel Henkin, a happy anniversary, because today is our 28-year anniversary of being together. And we're a little apart at the moment, but I wanted to wish him a wonderful anniversary for all that he does as a Cantorson, as Lee Cantor's husband. So on to our sermon. This week's Torah portion begins the next book of the Torah, Bamidbar, or Numbers, and it also happens to be my Torah portion as I became bar mitzvah 44 years ago. I remember so much about that day. My family all dressed up and me wearing that first suit. Mine was Pierre Cardin, gray, 3-piece number with a bright blue tie. I remember my mother creating my yarmulke in needlepoint, which I still have. I remember the smell of paint as I was the first bar mitzvah to celebrate in our new sanctuary. I remember my dad of blessed memory speaking to me and my mom and grandmother of blessed memory quelling during the service. I remember my grandfather, Ilya, of blessed memory, and his aliyah. I remember my nervousness, but I also remember my resolve and calm because I had a secret weapon in my armory. I had teachers that would not let me fail. Rabbi Matthew Simon was my rabbi, and he had it all. He was personable, wise, and intellectual, and someone who loved to help and teach others. He taught in the religious school with such joy. I learned so much about asking questions, about exploring texts, and becoming a young person who wanted to help in the world. Before I was 13, I worked for his wife in a school to help severely challenged kids to learn Hebrew and to prepare for their bar and bat mitzvah. I became the youngest volunteer at the local Hebrew Home for the Aged, zooming residents up and down the halls in their wheelchairs, learning their stories one by one, and most of all, singing in concerts throughout the year. As my bar mitzvah approached, I fondly remember our discussions for writing my devar and my sermon. Rabbi Simon instilled in me the gift of exploration, of never simply going along with the crowd, but of individual thought and expression. He was the one I went to when I was a teen to share that I was gay and that I was interested in exploring becoming a cantor. As a teen, my conservative rabbi's words held wisdom and held me in his hand, and he didn't condemn me nor in any way make a big deal about my sexuality. He let me know that the seminary was not allowing gay folks in at the time, but that he hoped for a change in the future. He suggested I apply to the Reconstructionist seminary in Pennsylvania and become a rabbi. They don't have cantors, but I felt the tug towards music so deeply. When I was finally ordained as a cantor from the Reform Movement seminary called Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Music, Debbie Friedman School of Sacred Music, in 1998, I received a card from Rabbi Simon that said, "I never doubted that this was the journey that you would follow. Mazel tov." My cantor was Hazan Robert Kival. He had been classically trained, and I spent services spellbound by the beauty of the Nusach and the Chazanut that filled our sanctuary. Cantor Kival taught our junior choir when I started at 8 years old. I learned from him the gifts of studying music, of understanding the meaning of the text so that one could add layer upon layer of interpretation, and how to sing with breath. Those initial teachings have allowed me to keep singing now for 57 years. Robert Kival let me sing many solos and even some duets with him as I got older. And when my studies for bar mitzvah began, Rabbi Kival gave me the typical cassette tape. That's a cassette tape for all the young ones who now get MP3s from me, to study my Torah and Haftarah. But he extended my lessons also an hour versus a half hour so that he could teach me cantillation, the system of the markings used to chant Torah and other books. I was so grateful for the opportunity to learn with a master cantor and musician. By the time of my bar mitzvah, I had learned Nusach for chanting prayers, my Torah and Haftorah with cantillation fluency and song melodies. So as the bar mitzvah, my teacher simply sat there the entire service and let me lead. And that is what a good teacher does. Teaches a student well and then lets them go, to continue the traditions and the knowledge, but also to add their own individuality and their creativity into the mix. Later, when I was a teenager, I sang in the temple's a cappella quartet during high holidays, sang more duets with my chazan, and let the voice of my teacher always lead me closer to God. There are so many moments like these in my life where a teacher made all the difference and that guided me on my life journey this far. May we remember and honor all the teachers in our lives. May we learn from each other and make it our life journey to never pause in learning, for each day and each moment is our opportunity to grow. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. It's ironic that I'm learning cantillation right now, and the cantor is talking about it. In fact, the rabbi yesterday just gave me a book on from the library. Got a book on cantillation for me.
Excellent.
I want to mention to everybody who's listening, we have a fantastic adult education program, as Leslie said. And I highly recommend you check them out and try them. I'm taking 3 different classes this last semester. I really learned a lot. And enough of that. It's time now. It's my pleasure to invite a Temple Board member, Carolyn Elsey, for the announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you to all who joined us this evening. Thank you, Cantor Fine, for leading us tonight in a wonderful service as we take an evening to appreciate all that our teachers have done for us over this last year, which of course was a very challenging year. Toda Rabbah to each of our teachers for an amazing year despite having to move to a virtual classroom. Also, thank you to Leslie Bright for your enthusiasm and grit to get us through this year. Thank you to Jordan Harris for co-leading tonight. And finally, thank you to Mark and Susan Post for joining us tonight to light the Shabbat candles. We have a number of opportunities to gather, learn, and celebrate over the next few days and weeks. All of the events, except for the Friday evening services, are going to be on Zoom. The only place to find the Zoom links is in the Shabbat Shalom email that is sent out every Thursday. Friday services will continue to be made available on both Facebook Live and YouTube. First, tomorrow we have Torah study at 9 a.m. and Torah service at 10 a.m. The best way to find the service is to click on the link provided in the Shabbat Shalom email. If you need the meeting ID and passcode, those are found in the section titled General Information about joining a Zoom meeting. Second, Zoom Havdalah will be tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. and a good time is had by all. Third, join us on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. for Shavuot and confirmation. Rabbi Emeritus Cadden and Cantor Fine will lead this service. The service will be made available to everyone on Zoom. We are also excited to welcome the confirmation students and their immediate families back to the synagogue. This will be an opportunity for a soft reopening to adjust protocols before continuing with plans to begin in-person services. Fourth, the Shavuot and Yizkor service this Monday, May 17th. Come join us as we hear the chanting of the Ten Commandments, a portion from the Book of Ruth, and remember those we love during our Yizkor service section of the service. The link for this Zoom service is in this week's Shabbat Shalom email. Fifth, join Elon Brown in his upcoming bar mitzvah this coming Thursday at 10 a.m. We are excited to safely welcome a limited number of guests that were invited by the family. The service will be broadcast on Zoom for all others who would like to join. This year's annual congregational meeting will take place this Tuesday at 6 p.m. We'll be voting on a number of important items in this year's meeting, including an interim rabbi and new board members. Information about the meeting can be found in the May bulletin that was emailed this week. You must register in order to attend, and it only takes a moment to register. The registration link was sent in 2 separate emails. If you have any questions, please contact our president, Aaron Peterson. We have started our 2021 fundraiser this last week with a bang. Thank you to those who started us by generously offering matching funds, and to all of those who have donated to this year's fundraiser. This fundraiser is taking the place in lieu of this year's auction, and you still have time to give. Check your email inbox, call the office, or check the TBE website. If you send in a donation on or before June 2nd of any amount, you will also be entered to win one of 3 great prizes. The Temple Bethel Building Committee continues to be closed for the time being, but we are finalizing the plans and protocols for safely reopening for in-person services, and we'll share these with the community at the congregational meeting and on the website after that. It is important to note that things may change quickly, and we will do our best to communicate any changes to the community. Some important things to note are we will continue to make all services available virtually. Registration will be required to attend in person. A writ of attendance waiver will need to be signed, but this is a one-time thing. And established protocols will need to be followed when in the building, no exceptions. Details of these and other measures will be shared in the next couple of weeks. As always, if you need help or are willing to help those in need, please contact Temple clergy, staff, or leadership. Shabbat Shalom. Please stay safe and healthy.
Thank you, Carolyn. And by the way, she knows cantillation real well. You're going to hear some beautiful music, beautiful chanting. Listen to her on Saturday morning. We continue with our prayer for healing. I ask you specifically to remember the people of India fighting COVID. Of course, remember our compatriots in Israel and the wounded and the families of the dead. In addition, I want you to think about right here in Pierce County. We're finding that we don't have to wear masks now, and Pierce County seems to be going in the wrong direction. If they wanted to hold us to the phase requirements, we should be phase 1, not phase 2. So I'm really worried about where we're going in this county. Anyway, okay, please use your keyboards to write in the names of those you are thinking of this evening as we sing Misha Barak prayer on page 253.
And I just want to say I'm thinking about my dearest friend, Diane Hartman, who is having major surgery on Monday, and also Raymond Adgers, who's father of Stacy Van Wagner. So we're thinking of him and Stacy and the family. We join together. Sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
As the ark is open, please rise and face east for the Aleinu on pages 282 and 284.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושבי קרוב השמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד, אין עוד.
Whoops. Hang on a second here. I lost my place. Sorry about that. I dropped the prayer book.
You see it there? So
Hang on, I'll let you go from there.
Okay, on 287 we read together. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad Shemo echad.
When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear, but if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction, he learned the law of God. And in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as in their higher moments they themselves wish to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. Mourner's Cottage, page 294.
So I'll ask those to rise who have lost someone in the past day, weeks, or month, and also those who are observing Yahrzeit on the Shabbat to rise. And we begin first by remembering those who have died in Israel in this escalation of war. In the period of Shloshim, we are remembering Marilyn Hankin, first cousin of Joel Hankin, Yaniv Dotan, one of Nina's rabbinic classmates. We're remembering Angelo Diaz, father of Madeline Diaz. We're thinking of Alan Michael Raymond, father of Sam Raymond. And in our community, in a period as we remember Yahrzeits of Mendel Bauer, Frieda Bauer, Shendel Bauer, Mo Birnbaum, Henry Epstein, Marion Fine, Mary Friedman, Sue Green, Lena Greenberg, Irving Gussman, Anna Hertzfeld, Mr. Leopold Hertzfeld, Elizabeth Hyde, Maurice Kadish, David Kahan, Morris Kaltenick, Ben Kaplan, Mildred Kiesel, Amy Kovsky, Luther Latham, Chuck Mayer, James G. McKee, Heike Moonblatt, Kim Rome, Mr. Michael Rubin, Evelyn Seidel, Philip Schlussel, Joseph Sexton, Roberta Solomon, Rose Wolf. We join together in the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, u'v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudisha barich hu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata dam yoran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
We say zichronam livracha, may they be remembered for a blessing. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated.
Okay, thank yous. First off, thank you, Cantor, for bailing me out when I got lost. Our thanks to Mark and Susan Post for lighting the candles, to Leslie Bright for the teacher appreciation portion of our service, to Cantor Fine for his beautiful music and for sharing those personal words during the sermon, to board member Carolyn Elsey for all the updates on upcoming events, and to our two people behind the scenes that you haven't seen, Debbie Japp, our accompanist, and I was going to say board president Aaron Peterson, but Sarah has been back there running this thing for us today. So thank you, Sarah. And finally, mazel tov to all our teachers for their time, creativity, and support of our children this year and every year.
And thank you, Jordan, for all your hard work and your wonderful personality comes out. So it's very appreciated, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, we conclude with Kaddish de Rabbanan. I can't say that word.
Rabbanan.
I know, but I can't say it. Something about that word. The Kaddish is traditionally is said after studying Torah, and we never do it in our service, but it's done like conservative services. I've seen it routinely. You can find the words on page 363 and on the screen.
Yes, and this was the first of the many different Kaddishes that we have. We have 6 actually, but this one is all about thanking our teachers after finishing study, and what a perfect song for the end of the school year and for our teachers. So join with me. For our teachers and their students and the students of their students, we ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. And for those who study Torah here and everywhere, may they be blessed with all they need, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say Amen.
Please rise for the Kiddush on page 5, and that's followed by the Chamotzi on 302.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uv'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat lechaim.
Chaim.
And we join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem mina haaretz b'te'avon. B'te'avon, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, y'all.